This is the Fifth Estate Winning Headlines, your media police post. In this segment, we summarize some of the headlines that you may have missed this morning, but we also take a look at the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. Today is the 16th of November 2021, and I am 2J.
I am JM.
And I am Miss K. Again, in case you missed today's headlines, here they are. Daily Nation, pay boom for civil servants, teachers. The Standard, Ministry clears barrier to varsity dream careers. The Star, Uhuru men plan grand reception for Raila in Nyeri. And People Daily, police hunt for committee terrorists. JM, kick us off today.
Yeah. So today I would like to hypothesize that William Ruto is engineering a runoff. Last week but one, Ruto and Mudavadi were spotted together. Last week, Ruto told the nation that he is open to entering an alliance with Kalonzo. So today I would like to break down the Ruto, Mudavadi, Kalonzo dalliance. What is William Ruto up to? Is there a coalition in the offing with these guys? Well, constitutionally, there's only one substantive position for a presidential candidate to dangle, that of deputy president. So, we can rule out the possibility of Ruto forming a coalition with both Mudavadi and Kalonzo simultaneously. It's got to be one or the other.
Yeah.
If he runs with Mudavadi as deputy president on top of his 2.3 million Kalenjin votes, he will get 0.48 million additional votes. Only 480,000.
Right.
And this is based on Mudavadi's prior performance of 2013. Now that will bring William Ruto's total starting point to 2.8 million votes. If, on the other hand, he runs with Kalonzo as his running mate, he will receive an additional 2.1 million votes, bringing his total starting base to 4.8 million votes. Now, going by these numbers, Kalonzo is obviously a more attractive partner than Mudavadi. But the 2.1 million votes is still lower than what he would stand to gain if he ran with a Kikuyu running mate. If he chooses a Kikuyu running mate, say JB Muturi for example, Ruto can bank on at least 2/3 of Gema, at least in his best case scenario.
Yeah.
Going by the math of the 2002 election. So, in addition to his 2.3 million, he will get an additional 3.7 million votes as his starting point. And going by that, his starting point then will be 6 million votes. A cool 6 million. So, having done the process of elimination, which we've just done, we can conclude that Ruto's intention is in parlaying with Mudavadi and Kalonzo is simply rocking chair politics. Keep them busy, take them nowhere. So the question is, to what end is he doing this? My hypothesis is that he wants to engineer a runoff because he knows he can't win round one outright. So his intention is to emerge number one amongst all the candidates in this first round. And you see in his thinking, once he emerges number one in the first round, he will have built sufficient momentum, sufficient gravitas to win the runoff. This perception of a victor. In other words, he wants to be the momentum candidate. He wants this momentum to thrust him into office. He wants the euphoria of the masses, of the hustler nation to thrust him into office. But where did euphoria of the masses take Kenneth Matiba in the 1992 election?
Nowhere.
It took him to the political gallows. The euphoria of the masses ushered Matiba into political oblivion. So why is Ruto going down this path? Well, because William Ruto is all tactics and no strategy. And as Sun Tzu said, strategy without tactics is the slowest route to victory. But worse still, tactics without strategy is the noise before defeat.
Oh, wow. Mark those words.
Mark those words. Well, today I don't want to address any of the headlines. I do, however, want to expose a ploy by the Hustler Nation to fool Kenyans. I want to warn Kenyans about a cognitive bias that is beginning to emerge as the campaign season for 2022 begins. So for about a week now, the Hustler Nation has been releasing election results on Twitter. From Meru to Gatondo to Thika and Kitui, the Hustler Nation has been selling a narrative to the country. The narrative is that William Ruto has already secured his electoral victory in these spaces. He's already won, even though the election is 8 months away. So by announcing the election results early, what the Hustler Nation is doing is conditioning Kenyans to believe that a RUTO victory in 2022 is the only believable outcome.
Yeah.
By doing this, they are causing the country to fall victim to a reasoning error known as the availability heuristic. The availability heuristic is a mental strategy in which people judge the probability of an outcome, the frequency of an event, and the extremity of a situation based on the ease of memory and the amount of information that can be brought to mind. So in his book, Thinking Fast and Slow, Daniel Kahneman adds another layer. He says that people tend to assess the relative importance of issues by the ease with which they are retrieved from memory, and this is largely determined by the extent of coverage in the media. So a quick recap. The more readily you can recall an event, the more available that information is to you, the more likely you are to think that something will happen.
Yeah.
And the reason that you remember is because the media has fooled you or flooded you with that information. Now, the problem with the availability heuristic is that it leads to errors of judgment. This is because information that is highly available in the public domain can lead people to believe that an event is more probable than it actually is. So what am I saying here? The DP's cult of personality, coupled with the mainstream and social media coverage of his campaigns, makes it easier for us to retrieve information that the DP is popular. And then, when this information on his popularity is easily recalled, we think that he's going to win the election, even though that is not an irrefutable fact. Now, my end point, we should not open ourselves up to distorted understandings of the 22 election landscape, because qua ground, vitu ni different.
And on that note, I think those sentiments have really created a question that has bothered us here at the Fort Hall School of Government. And that question is, why is the Gema Nation making us believe that they will support a RUTO presidency come 2022? Nothing but paid crowds and fanfare confirm that he will win. So where or what are the facts? And I think GK gave us this answer yesterday. The Shy Kikuyu Factor. Kikuyus are suspicious, and I want to tell you why. Now, the origin of this shyness factor actually came from the 1982 gubernatorial race in California between a black man called Tom Bradley and a white man called George Dukemajan. So the Muzungus were afraid of being perceived as racist, that they went and told pollsters that they would vote for this black man, when in reality, they knew that they were going to the ballot to select their own. But this created a problem. In the run-up to the election, all of the polls were dead wrong. Everybody expected the black man to win, but the Muzungus had tricked everyone and voted their white guy straight into the governor's office. The black man went home shocked and confused. He thought that his win was guaranteed.
Yes.
So what does this teach us? That people will tell you what they want to hear for fear of being rejected or even judged. And I think that this is exactly what Central Kenya is up to.
Yeah.
This is why we keep seeing polls that place RUTO with 50, 60, even 70% of Gema support. Like the Muzungus in this 1982 election, Gema is telling us one thing, but they're going to do another. They will trick RUTO and vote someone else straight into State House. And this is because Kikuyus are aware that they will be the kingmakers and the deciding factor in 2022. And so they are cautious. They are guarding their true intentions and waiting for the right moment. They have been told that the RUTO promise of 2013 is their burden to fulfill. RUTO has also told them that he is their keeper. And the lazy media, like Ms. K has told us, has ensured that our eyes do not forget it. But these cracks are beginning to form. And so what is my point? Remember at all times, that it is not the candidates who are flirting with the mountain, but it is the mountain who is flirting with them. Central Kenya is not stupid. They know exactly what they are doing. And come 2022, RUTO might be sent home packing, shocked and confused because he thought that his win was guaranteed.
Excellent point there. We have a three-part criteria that we use to judge the headlines for you. We ask ourselves two questions. Is the headline topical or speculative, repetitive or groundbreaking and thoughtful, or just plain lazy? Back to the headlines. Daily Nation, pay boom for civil servants and teachers. The Standard, the ministry clears the barrier to varsity dream careers. The Star, Uhuru men plan grand reception for Raila in Nyeri. And People Daily, the police hunt for committee terrorists. That's a bit scary.
Just because the lazy media has brought attention to the fact that government is at work. So for that, I do applaud them.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, but I think we toss them.
I say we toss them. I say we toss everything except the Star.
Yes, that political one.
Uhuru men plan grand reception for Raila in Nyeri.
And there you have it. The Star gives us our winning headline. Onto the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. Just like the headlines, we have a three-part criteria that we use to judge the cartoons for you. We ask ourselves, is it humorous or dry, satirical or pessimistic, effective or just plain lazy? Let us start with the Daily Nation.
In the Daily Nation, we have a picture here of the African continent. And next to it, we have the US Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken. And he appears to be holding a puppet, who is a caricature of President Uhuru Kenyatta, who is holding a extinguisher, and he's putting a fire out over northern East Africa. So we're talking about Ethiopia, Sudan, and Somalia. And the context here, of course, is that Blinken is in Africa on a 3-day state visit. He's going to visit Kenya, Nigeria, and Senegal. And I want to question why they're calling Uhuru the puppet of the US, right? I think Uhuru just came back the other day from visiting Abiy in Ethiopia. And we know that they have a great relationship.
The photos were excellent.
Exactly. Kenya has been an anchor state in, the stability of the Horn of Africa. So I think to imply that the US has anything to do with that is misguided.
And demeaning our authority and power as an anchor nation.
Completely wrong. So I think before we even move on, can I just toss the Daily Nation?
Toss the Daily Nation. On to the Star.
Yeah, so here we have the leading presidential candidates for the 2022 election, who are fully clad in their sports uniforms and are hanging around the 2022 ballot box, very close to the box. They're actually on top of the box. Their feet there is William Ruto and Raila Odinga doing some sort of push-ups. And then Raila, or rather the Oka Chiefs, in the distance playing a game of Twister. Got themselves entangled.
Yeah, I think they don't have their eye on the prize.
That's so true. I do like the depiction. It's very comical. It shows that the only people who are really getting ready for the race are two.
Really
the rest
serious.
of you are still trying to entangle yourself. Last man standing will be the winner. So I say we put it in the parking bay and look at the Standard. In the Standard, we have a caricature of William Ruto, and he's in the campaign mode in his car, Ruto 2022. And he is splashing money as he would as Arab Mashamba. And the media is there trying to cover it. The microphone's on the floor and they're grabbing money. And one lady asks, aren't we supposed to be covering the event? Then the camera guy responds, but we are covering it. I like that as a true depiction of crooked media.
And in fact, I think it was a headline on one of the papers yesterday talking about how all of this money handouts is actually causing more friction than help.
It is. Again, it's also distorting our vision of reality based on what both you and I have said today.
Completely.
Yeah, well, one more cartoon here.
Yes. PD.
Here we have a cartoon depicting caricature of former Nairobi governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko. And he's trying to get back on track with his political career. But on his path is a big foot that has stepped on his political career, and so Sonko is there with a question mark trying to figure out how he's going to undo this. Now today, Anne Kananu was sworn in as the governor of Nairobi. And of course, that hasn't made Sonko very happy. But he's a man who's lost some serious political and even street credibility.
Sorry for him.
He's gone into political oblivion, I think.
Yeah, I think he has, just like Matiba did in your example.
You know what? Congratulations to the newest governor of Nairobi. Yes.
Congratulations
Sorry,
to her. Can we toss everything else and leave the Standard as our winning cartoon?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
okay,
completely.
Okay. That's
I like that. One.
Yes. So there you have it. The Standard gives us our winning cartoon. And finally, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on your TV screens. You can find us on Prime, Future Air, GoTV, and Star Times. And I will end with a quote from Winston Churchill. It's about democracy, and he says that the best argument against democracy is a 5-minute conversation with the average voter. Do have a great evening.